all for being here today. If this is your first time clicking on Living Life by Design, welcome. Thank you for stopping in or dropping by to see what we're all about. I hope that you will see something here that will encourage you or inspire you that you might want to stay. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and become a part of this beautiful journey of sisterhood, living our lives as beautiful women. And if you are a returning subscriber or follower, I want to say thank you as well for coming through. It is Saturday and I'm dropping in really quick. I have my granddaughters over here, so if you hear any noise in the background, I've already warned them, but if you hear any noise in the background, that's them in the other room watching some cartoons and things this morning. We got up with the chickens, y'all. We've been up since about 6 o'clock. They're early risers because they go to bed early. And even though last night they didn't go to bed early, it was about 9:30, but they still get up early. They've had breakfast, and I told them I need to put in a little bit of work while they're watching their shows. And I wanted to drop in today. Y'all saw the topic. Some years ago, I did what women want over 50, and today I'm doing what women want over 60 out of life. What do we want over 60? I think a lot of times people think that once you get 60, that you're not desiring much, but you know, most of us at this age are still living a full life. And I want to share today some things that I want personally. This is my list of things that I want over 60. So if this is something you might be interested in, go ahead and just continue to watch this video. But I will encourage you to make your own list as well. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm having coffee this morning, and I wanted to share with you what I want over 60. You know, I do these videos because I think it is not very common for people to think that when you're 60 that you still have a desire out of life. I think that because we have more years behind us that we've lived than ahead of us. Now, realistically speaking, that is the truth, because even if I was to live to be 100, you know, we're talking about 40 years if you're 60. If you're older than 60, you know, you got 30 some years. So realistically speaking, how often do you see that? It's very rare because of just life now, because of what we consume, the things that we eat, because we don't take care of ourselves. I think our lifespan tend to be a little less. I do think over the past decade or so, people are becoming more aware of health, being health conscious, so they are doing more things. However, we could do a lot better. So realistically speaking, most people won't live to see 100. You know, I think the average is around 80 for a woman. I think it's 70 something for a man. That's just statistics. It don't have to be a reality, but if you look at the numbers, that is, you know, probably true. So we're looking at about 20 years of living. And we're hoping that those 20 years will be great years, right? But at this stage of life, you still have a desire for life. Most of us. If you're not battling things like just being alive because of health challenges, you still want a full life. So I'm sharing what I want out of life. The number one thing on my life is to have good health. Because without that, what do you have? If your health is not great, and you're bedridden, you know, you don't really have much to look forward to. I believe that if I was in a situation where I could not function and I was just confined to being in the bed, I don't think that would be good living for me. And I don't think I would have a desire to just keep going if I had to totally depend on someone to take care of me, and you know, I wasn't able to get up and just enjoy anything in life. I don't think that's a good way for me personally to be here. And I don't want to be a burden to others. So I'm hoping that I can do things now, that I'm continuing to do things now that will give me a good quality of life, and that my health would be great. The second thing I would want in life is to have something I'm passionate about, something that I want to immerse myself in. What is it that you want to do with this life? A lot of us are still working at this stage of life. A lot of us are still out there going to a 9 to 5. We're not retired because retirement age is not until 67. And so therefore, if you want your full benefits or your retirement, Social Security, say that, very loosely, you have to complete that full retirement age in order to be able to get it without penalty. So a lot of us are still working. So therefore, I'm passionate about the things I want to look forward to getting to that age. And some of the things that I want to do is to be able to have something that I can fully immerse myself into, building something for me. That's why I share with you guys that I have a business that I'm working on, because I want to be able to do that. I want to have something to do every day. I don't think my life would be complete if I woke up every day without a purpose. So that's important to me. Another thing that I want is to have a relationship with our Almighty God. I think it's because of God that I'm here. You may or may not believe that, but it's because of Him that I continue, because I do know that we all have a destiny with that time that we will transition to our spiritual life, regardless of what you believe. I believe that. And I thank God every day that He has given me this time to be here. A lot of us haven't made it here. We do know now that it is more young people leaving here than ever before because of reckless living, not taking care of themselves. I think right now in the U.S. we have one of the most unhealthiest societies ever. We have young people who have not taking care of themselves, and they're doing things that's very detrimental to their bodies. So therefore their lives are being taken early if they're not out here doing reckless things to have their life taken by other things. We're just not doing that. So to be able to be here 60 years is a blessing. Even though people ridicule us at 60, say we're old or whatever, but I tell you what, as time continues to go on and you get older and older, you're going to be grateful that you're still here. Another thing I desire in my life is to have great relationships. That's either via family, friends, or either a partner. As I have gotten older, I guess for me at 60 now, this is not everybody. My desire is just to have great relationships. It's not so much for me about having a partner. Now, that may not be your journey. Some people still desire to have a partner in their life, someone that they can spend forever with, just the two of you guys. But for me, I've been married before, so I'm not so hung up on that as much as having very rich and loving relationships, friendships that I can walk through life with. That means even females or males. I've been blessed in my life that I've had relationships with both that were great and thriving. But I wouldn't rule out having a partner that I can spend time with. So I'm not that, old lady that just say, I've written out relationships. I haven't. But at this stage of life, a lot of us have gotten to a point where we really understand who we are, what we need. And so therefore, a lot of times when I have met people in my life, and as I have spent time with them, I realize that the things that we desire are totally different. The way that we look at life is totally different. And those two worlds coming together wouldn't work. So when you get to a certain stage of life, I really think that you are very in tune with who you are. And compromising is something you'll always have to do in relationships, but there are a lot of non-negotiables. So therefore, when you see those things up front, you already know. So it's not necessary for me to say, well, maybe potentially this person can be those things. You understand it, and you put that relationship into a perspective. And if it's only going to be a friendship, that's just what it's going to be. And sometimes you have to understand that. And being over 60, I'm totally there now. So for me, I want to cultivate relationships that are loyal and fun-loving, and we reciprocate the love, and that's important for me. Another thing for me over 60 is being able to share my knowledge, what I've learned. I think that every person who has gained wisdom and has become an elder should want to share the lessons of life with those that are younger. You're not here just for your gratification. If you cannot pour into others what you've learned, that's a selfish way of being. You should not want to get to a point of life where you don't want to share the knowledge so that the generation behind you can learn from it. We should be wanting to give to those that are younger so that they can be better in life. Pour into those young people so that they can learn lessons that will benefit them as they age. That's what it's about. And I just feel bad for people who are not looking at it like that. It's all about what they can gain in life and how successful they can become, and not looking back and wanting to reach back and grab someone behind them and teach them the things that they've learned. That's the purpose of this YouTube channel, to pour into others and help people who may be struggling, help people to have a better quality of life because of lessons you've learned, or simply give back. That's what it's all about for me. And the final thing that I'm going to share with you is to have peace. Peace. You know, when you're younger, you go through so many things. You struggle to find yourself. You struggle to learn lessons of life. You struggle to become stable. You make so many mistakes, which is something you're not going to stop doing. Trust me. But finding a place of peace in your life where you can just live life. You don't want a lot of drama, or, well, truth be told, you don't want any drama, but you want to live this life where you can just enjoy life, because you have given so much at this stage of life. 9 times out of 10, you've given so much out of life at this point. You've learned so much. You've had to make a lot of mistakes. And so now you've reached this stage where the lessons have been learned, and you're, moving toward that stability of just living these last years in peace, smiling, being happy, and experiencing this beautiful world, maybe some things you have not done before. And that's so important. That's really important for me. So I wanted to share that. I'm at that stage of life where I am experiencing a lot of peace. You will see a lot of things at this stage. You'll see your friends leave here. That's really hard, to know people that you've known most of your life, to see them start to leave here. That's hard to do. When you're younger, you do see people leave. You see your friends pass on, maybe because of, reckless living or accidents or health challenges, but you don't see it as much as you do when you get older. You see your parents leave, and that's a hard thing to watch. So you start to recognize what's all important, and you know that your number is coming at some point. So you want to give life all it has, and that's where I'm at in life. So that is one of the reasons why I come on here week after week, sharing life lessons and the beautiful blessings of life when I enjoy life. And I want to share that with other women. And there are a lot of people who get here that are still struggling to find themselves and find the beauty in living, because maybe they have experienced such hard times in their lives and sadness in their lives. And maybe they have struggled with illness, and it's hard. But it's good to be able to see people, your peers, living life and enjoying life. And I'm hoping that that's what I share here on the platform. So thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for watching. I hope that this video has been enlightening, and that it helps you to realize that life is not over just because you get to a certain stage of life, that you got to keep living. And I thank you all for watching. So have a blessed day. Have a wonderful weekend. Put everything you have into life. Share it with others. Don't be selfish. And yeah, that's all I have today. So thank you for watching. Come back real soon. Remember, the podcast every third Sunday will be coming up in April. I have a trip planned for next month. I'm going on vacation with my bestie. Hey, Cheryl. We're going to be going to Miami, God willing. Have everything planned and booked. So stay tuned for that vlog. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.